from Oakland, California. It's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the home team taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up and they're ready to do battle with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And this will go as a touchback, and they will begin things at the 25. So that's their first drive. They'll be led out by the #1 overall pick back in 2020 from LSU.
And he's playing at a very high level here in this early part of the season. In fact, he leads the NFL in passing yards. Now, that's not always an indicator of success, but in his case, it is.
Here we go. 47. Mike's 47. Here we go. 180.
Now Burrow on first down. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. The numbers for him from a week ago: 6 catches, 78 yards.
Better tighten up the coverage if you expect to slow this guy down, because if he gets going, he'll eat you up.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 3 yards to gain there, 2nd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's #4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
Now this pass into the hands of Saquon Barkley. A good rally to the football. Keeps him at 2nd down. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Here we go.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it. One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So if they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
And they'll get this down to the 10. So not quite a first and goal. It's first and 10 from the 10. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5. And just like that, it's third down. And so far, a very nice, methodical opening drive.
This has the feel of a scripted drive that they rehearsed perfectly all week long, and now they're executing it on game day.
Script looks good so far. The 13th play now coming on this opening drive. Here's third down. Burrow looking to pass. And this is going to be incomplete. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. Well, for whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when an ex-defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try, all right? I don't know how good I am. It doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit, exactly what you described. Footwork, that led to the incompletion.
They moved the ball pretty well there on the opening drive. You think they're okay settling for 3?
I don't think they're happy about settling for 3, but I think you're exactly right with the word okay, because they threw it well, they ran it well. Excellent balance for the first drive of the game.
And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. So out comes this tackle for the first time. And they will be left 6 quarterback.
And I like his honesty, because when we sat down with him, I mean, he was the first one to say, that was on me last week, a really poor performance. Way too many interceptions, didn't find the end zone throwing the ball, put his defense and his special teams in some real jeopardy, but somehow they won the game.
They won.
Yeah, what I loved about is when he told us about the defense kind of corralling him in the locker room and said, all right, my man, we're not going to do that.
He's got a man, complete, past the 20. And all the way in for the touchdown. Will Fuller, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Oilers have taken the lead. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Tampa Bay, they're getting ready to set up shop here for their second drive. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. Second down, here's Barkley again. A solid stiff arm. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
We want it. Come to my work.
A first down carry for Barkley. Stops shy of the 45 despite some powerful running. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Well, this defense very strong in that victory from a week ago.
And every defensive team that we talk to, They spend a lot of time talking about creating turnovers. And anytime you get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really good performance. They exceeded that number in a huge way. They got the football back 4 times.
They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
On 3rd down, Burrow. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. And he is going to have the Buccaneers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Here's a give to Barkley. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
But they're certainly not neglecting their run duties as well as they ate up the blockers in front and allowed the secondary to get home.
Running again with Barkley on 2nd down. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Now they'll run on the draw. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. It's a pickup of 3, but it brings up what will be an interesting 4th and 1. So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well ranked. After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And he's able to get across midfield and down into Buccaneer territory. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. A gain of 4 last play. They double that here and get 8.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a 1st down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down. He's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the 1st.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that 1st. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And he's got his big tight end here.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
I know he ain't got it. 58, right over there.
2nd and 3. And he slings one that's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's going to have a 1st down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line.
Well, they use him a lot out of the backfield. He had 5 catches a week ago, and he makes another catch here for good yardage.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
I'm here all day.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. That's into the hands of Pitts, the tight end. A gain of 6 there on first.
He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he could break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Going right side, he finds Slayton. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
And he gets the 1st down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6.
And they pick up a 1st down, and that came out of the fullback position. But as you and I both know, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a fullback playing in that spot.
Well, times have changed, right? The old school fullback doesn't really exist anymore.
We're not getting that same player out of college with all the spread offenses, not very many pro style, where you actually have a true fullback. We're having to make do in the NFL and put guys in that spot who emulate it but aren't necessarily that position.
Kill.
And they'll run again. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Oilers are able to widen their advantage. Extra point splits the uprights, and that pushes the lead up to 11. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Taking it about the 1. And able to get this out to the 25. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator, actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they presented it to the rest of the team. I think we'll see plenty of that as the season moves on.
And I'm sure he said challenge accepted. And this is going to be a Bucks 1st down as the tackle made here at the 36.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key 1st downs and big runs.
Here we go.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now a toss right to Barkley. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
We knew both of these safeties were good in run support, but how about the play we just saw there? How about that closing speed? Get to the outside part of the field and turn that play into a loss.
Behind the chain, 2nd and 12.
47's a must.
And they give this time to the tailback.
Here we go.
And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
Big 13.
First down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now as he's on here to punt it away. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. look at Will Fuller as he and the rest of the offense gears up to get ready to go again. There was a lot of talk in training camp about him getting off to a hot start this year, saying that they needed that. Well, he's done it through the first month.
It kind of reminds me of one of those great musical groups where one person has their name out front, then they have the backups, right? He's the guy out front because the backups, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, but we're going to the headliner each and every time. And that's not easily done because, you know, all the defenses are kicking towards him right now. That means he's fighting his way through traffic, finding ways to get open, even when he's not supposed to be.
58's the mic, 58.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Touchdown. A big play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Oilers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments. Right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead is up to 18 now. The quick strike ability certainly intact there. 2 plays, 80 yards to score. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Taken in at the 3. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. This one goes out wide for Barkley. Yard line. Now the Bucks going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. First and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about.
Let me play, dog. Let me play.
So a costly penalty yardage-wise as that'll move the football down to the spot of the foul.
And what the officials are looking for in these situations, whether you're playing the man or the ball. And if you're playing the man, you get a lot less leeway in terms of what's going to happen at the end of the play. If you're looking for the football, it's less likely to draw the flag.
The Bucks going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
Get set. Hey, can.
47's the mic. 47's the mic.
Again, it's Burrow.
Watch the screen. Check nickel.
They'll get this out to Barkley, complete. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
And he hauls it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. A great play there. Hit. First touchdown on the year. And the Buccaneers get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. Extra point right down the middle. And that'll make this now an 11-point deficit. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. We'll see a return here from the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're...
A leap, and he's got it. He got it. And all the way down inside the 25 before he's out of bounds. A big play there just before halftime.
We see this happen so often. If you're a defender, it's like watching a bad movie over and over. The pressure's good, forcing the quarterback out of the pocket. But it's a lot to ask for these defenders to stay plastered to receivers long enough. And sure enough, they let a man come open, and the connection leads to a big play.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Going to throw deep for the end zone. And that nearly a turnover, but it's incomplete. Oh, fortunate to retain possession there, and it's second down. Just his second incompletion so far. He's 8 for 10. I think he'll take 80%.
There's no doubt that he will, but if you're the defensive play caller, you better circle what you just dialed up on your play sheet and come back to it because you just caused an incompletion. You need a few more of those.
So we have reached this week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. And this offense set to go now to begin the third quarter. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. It's complete to Fuller. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the first down. Now to be 4th and short.
He needed less than a foot. He didn't get a whole lot more than that, but he did get the first down.
Well, he and his offensive line created enough push where if he was able to just fall forward as he was able to there, that would pick up the first down. As you noted, didn't need a whole lot, didn't get much more than that.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45.
Why that play works is because the defense has to freeze because they don't know whether he's going to hand it off or keep it himself. And this time, how about that sleight of hand there? Gives it to his wideout. And that indecision defensively, boy, it hurt him in a big way.
Back to throw now on first down. Britt's got it complete. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. There on first as a screen pass gets him 8.
With all the success they've had throwing the football as a pass rusher, you know you've got to come hard when you see him drop back to throw. So I really like this call to counteract that pass rush with a screen. It turns into positive yardage. A lot of times the offense says, just replace the rusher with the ball, and it turns into a good play. As I take a look at the clock, I realize that this drive has eaten up a good portion of the 4th quarter already. Gotta tell you, partner, when you're trying to salt away a game, this is exactly what it's supposed to look like.
And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucks 26. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
That right there, career catch number 541, and that's significant because it ties him with Hall of Famer Kellen Winslow, who also obviously played the tight end position.
Yeah, and helped revolutionize it when he was in San Diego. But how about what we're seeing right here? You're talking about 541 catches at the tight end position. You talk about lofty territory, rare air. He has a lot to be proud of in his career.
They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th of the year. And the Oilers take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is up to 18 now. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Taken in at the 3. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the 2nd half. After the long touchdown drive we just saw, you wonder if maybe that's taken a little of the wind out of this offensive sails because they had it going pretty good last time, too.
Had to sit over there for a little while, didn't they? You know, they were eager, amped up to get back on the field after just scoring, hoping to get the ball back quickly. That didn't happen, so I'd say come out, just kind of get started again. You know, doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Just get moving, get loose again, and see if they can get it downfield.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Christian Wilkins, the defensive tackle, getting in there for a loss of 5. Now Charles dealing with a 3rd and long. They'll have to try to go back to the air again, and this time avoid the sack.
Certainly hard to try to establish momentum when all you're doing is going backwards, not protecting the passer, and he gets dumped on his backside.
And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for him. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
That's taken it around the 40. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of 40. And that negates a pretty decent punt return.
And the goal is to get a first down on a punt return, which is 10 yards. This was much more than that, but it is going to come back due to the illegal block in the back.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Eluding the pressure right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And oh, that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here, he throws it away, and now it's 3rd. And this one is incomplete.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
Get him! Get him!
They'll try and throw for it here. Wide open receiver complete.
No, sir! No, sir!
A big play there. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Oilers are able to stretch out their lead. That certainly went against the traditional ways of playing football, but who cares? Look at the result. Big touchdown.
They went for it on his own side of 50. So there's conservative, there's aggressive, and there's really aggressive, which is what we just saw there. Tip of the cap to them.
No going for two. They'll kick the point after. And he's been a busy man. 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So then drive 4 plays. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Taking it about the 1. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Back now comes Tampa Bay. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second in just about a few inches here.
Hey. 4 down.
Hands it off out of the gun. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Play action. It's Burrow. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain. Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
47, Mike, 47.
They will throw on first down with Burrow. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete. The passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
Burrow once again here on 2nd and 10.
Back to you. I'm going back to you.
And Burrow going to be hit and taken down. They got him. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down. Well, I think that time he just maybe held on to it a little too long, CD, because after a couple of seconds in this league, you know those defenders are coming.
How many times we talk about complementary football? We usually talk about does the offense help the defense, does the defense help the offense? I think in this case, does the quarterback help out his offensive line? You only have a certain amount of time to get rid of the football. They can only do so much. On this play, he took him to the limits.
Now Joe Burrow on 3rd and long. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down. 4th and goal, and down by a touchdown. The offense stays on the field.
Check back 11. So we got man.
Here we go. It's Burrow on 4th down. They're looking for Higgins, but it is intercepted. Picked off by J.C. Horn. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
47 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The offense on third down tonight, they've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. And for the moment, this is the first down. But we have a marker on the field. Let's see if this stands.
No!
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Rolling to his right. On the run, he'll let it go deep. Right sideline. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Plenty of shouts from this crowd as they watch the replay. They want a challenge, and they're going to give one. And we'll get a moment here as they look this one over.
Yeah, remember now, the call on the field is what they'll stick with unless they have clear video evidence to the contrary.
So the decision to challenge does not pan out, and that's also going to cost him a timeout. So possession goes over here on the punt, and the Bucks will get ready to go on offense. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest. The drive starts with a completion left side. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
Big 13! Big 13!
Let's get it.
Check Michael.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Burrow. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield.
Keep playing hard.
And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
Here we go. Oh.
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. And you probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25.
Oh, no.
Maybe a frustration penalty there because he's picked them apart.
They've tried their best to get to him and haven't done it successfully. A penalty is a result of that hit there.
Watch the screen.
So Mike's number 1, Mike.
Throwing now, Burrow on 1st down. Now Burrow loses the football. It's going the other way. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
He'll have a 1st down past the 40 and all the way up to the 46.
A good run there off right tackle in an old school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
Right back to him on 1st down. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back down and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run. But the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is to inbounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. And he's taken down inside the 30. Fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. And he'll get this one down to about the 27. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4. 7th play in the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll get this to the 23, but that'll be well short of what he needed. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. So plenty of smiles for the folks here as they head for the exits. It's a victory for their hometown guys. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished.